Hi guys, hope you're well. Now, the last day I got to start on this topic, guys. The last topic in the book. Now, this PowerPoint is up on your OneNote as well, guys. If you open the Northern Irish tab and go down to number 8, the impact of the troubles on the economy and society. It's our last heading, so our last chapter. I'll go quickly, guys. So you had to do a little bit about this the last day. The economy. So during the Troubles, obviously their economy was in terrible crisis and decline. They couldn't get any factories set up there. They couldn't get any companies to move there. It was very difficult to get a job. Um, the violence also destroyed property. We saw pictures before of houses being burnt down. Lots of factories got attacked. Lots of businesses got attacked, and that happened throughout the Troubles. An example is, if we look at the bottom point there, the first worst years of the Troubles between 1972 and 76, only 900 jobs were created by foreign companies. That's tiny. So I'm going through this quickly, guys, because you did a lot of this the last day, and I asked you to stop on this, guy. So we're looking at security force here, which is the RUC, being the security force. We know at this point, and the UDR as well, which would have been kind of the backup, or the B specials would have been the backup police force. We know at this point that there are almost 100% Protestant. Very, very few Catholics joined them, and we know the reasons for that. You would have been ostracised in your community if you had. But today, guys, what we're going to be looking at, and I'm going to get you to put in a new heading into our copy. Actually, before you do that, sorry, the last point here. So during the peace process of 1990s, the economy was a high priority. So during the Good Friday Agreement, they really pushed on helping the economy. Peace dividends, so social and political stability would lead to economic progress. The idea was, if you peace Northern Ireland, the economy will grow. Nice and simple. British, Irish, and US governments, private investors in the EU were all committed to investing in the economy of Northern Ireland in the event of a peaceful resolution of the conflict, which they have. In recent years, Northern Ireland has attracted foreign industry there because it's now a peaceful place. So today, guys, if I could get you to put that in as our heading, religion and population change. We're going to look at how that's changed over the years. So the bits that are in red, guys, the volunteer notes, I want you to take down all the points, but the bits that are in red, I want you to underline or highlight, please. So, obviously, as well as stopping foreign companies from setting up in Northern Ireland, also the Troubles had a major impact on their population distribution, the amount of people that lived in Northern Ireland and the different religions. So, due to violence and intimidation, thousands were forced out of their homes, mainly Catholics, and usually when they were forced out of their homes, they would often come across the south and leave Northern Ireland essentially for good. Now, Belfast is a city, it's quite different than Derry. Belfast, you have Catholics and Protestants literally living on top of each other. So, in working class parts of Belfast, so think of the centre of the city essentially. So, the Shankill would be the Protestant area, the Falls Road would be the Catholic area. And a lot of people would imagine that they're quite far away from each other in Belfast. They're actually right next to each other. So, you have a staunchly Protestant area, the Shankill, right next to a staunchly Catholic area, the Falls Road. And throughout Northern Ireland, they have these peace walls built. So you'll see along here, that long wall there. That's what's called a peace wall, and that's there separating a Catholic community, Catholics on that side, and Protestant on that side. They haven't been taken down. They're still there today. You'll see an example here. Again, you'll have Catholics on one side and Protestants on the other side, and that peace wall. You can see the barrier up at the top. That's there to not to keep the peace, as the name suggests. But they've been very reluctant to take them down. Very few of them will come down in Northern Ireland. What would happen is, at different points, they would open during the day and would be locked at night time to try and prevent movement between the neighbourhoods and Catholics in the Protestant neighbourhoods, and etc. And this is what it would look like, guys. They're kind of dreary. They're sort of a tourist attraction now in Northern Ireland for people, but it's kind of a memory of the past. But there's still a little bit of hesitancy to take them down. Now, Derry's quite different. In Derry, during the Troubles, Protestants almost completely abandoned the city side area. So if we look at the graph down here, that's a map of Derry. All the green areas are essentially where mainly Catholics live. So on one side of the river, you have pretty much all Catholics. That's the Cregan Estate and the Bogside area mainly. On the other side of the river, you have mainly Protestant area. So they're separated essentially by the river for the most part, which is quite different to Belfast. And moving on, according to the 1991 census, remember our course technically stops at 1993, guys. So according to the 1991 census, most people in Northern Ireland lived in an area that was either 90% Protestant or 90% Catholic, making Northern Ireland one of the most segregated societies in Europe. So that's really, really important. Segregated means separated. So essentially, if you're a Catholic, you're probably very, very likely living in an area we're surrounded by completely Catholic people. Same if you're a Protestant, you're probably at this time living in an area of Northern Ireland that's almost staunchly Protestant. There's very few Catholics that lived in Protestant areas or vice versa. And if we have a look at the map down here, guys, you can see all the orange areas are areas that have Protestant majorities, and all of the green areas have Catholic majorities. Now, dark green are areas that have deep, strong Catholic majorities. So if we look down here, for example, you have the south of Down, so Newry. Most of you were there shopping when you were in TY. That's a staunchly Catholic area. Same for South Armagh, which is over on this side. Here, South Armagh is a big IRA area during the Troubles. So a lot of IRA members lived there. And again, the other dark green area I have is over here, which is Derry City, which is a strongly Catholic area. Now the orange areas, again, the darker orange are the staunchly Protestant areas. So you've remember, County Derry is quite Protestant. It's only Derry City that isn't. So you have Coleraine in that part of Derry, and you have areas around Belfast. Troubles kicked off in 1969, but there was a steady rise in the proportion of Catholics in Northern Ireland from the 1960s, and they were growing. Now, traditionally, since Northern Ireland was formed in the 1920s, Catholics usually made up about 1/3 of the population. However, by 1991, they made up 42% of the total population. So you can do the maths there, guys. So essentially, once Northern Ireland started off, you had 33% Catholics, and then by 1991, it jumped to 42% Catholics. That's a jump of 9%. If you would jump another 9%, that brings you on to the magic number 51%, which will become important a little bit later on. As a result, there are significant Catholic populations in largely Protestant and Unionist towns. So examples are Lisburn and Portadown are two Protestant towns, but the numbers of Catholics in those towns have grown over the years. Now, Unionists felt increasingly insecure as throughout the Troubles, Sinn Féin, not Sinn Féin, the SDLP initially, later would be Sinn Féin, started to increase their electoral support. The reason for that was there was more Catholics. Catholic numbers were starting to grow, so their support would start to grow. In Belfast, national councillors accounted for nearly half of the overall membership of the corporation in the 1990s. It's a huge transformation, so basically a huge change in Belfast City Council, as half of it was Catholics, where up to that point it had been controlled completely by Unionists, and it shows the massive changes that were happening in Northern Ireland. Now, guys, I'm going to be inserting a movie or YouTube video onto your OneNote. If you go onto YouTube, now I've got the screen cut here a little bit, guys, but if you type in changing demographics Northern Ireland, you'll see a 7-minute video there, guys. I'm going to get you to watch that. It connects to what we're talking about, the changing demographics, the changing number of Catholics and Protestants in Northern Ireland, how it's changed from the start of the Troubles to the end of the Troubles. Okay, guys, you can take down those points into your notes and email me if you have any questions, guys. Okay, speak to you soon.